Hi, it's Jeffrey Cohen, Chicago Quantum. It's Tuesday, January 3rd. First day of trading in the markets. It's 2023. Welcome to the new year. So I want to talk a little bit about what we're seeing out there. This will be a shorter video than normal. And let's see what we find. So truthfully, the market's a little crazy today. It's down. I guess maybe I'm not surprised. You know, if you look at it over the last month, it's been down. Industrial's down 4.3%. IWM is the Russell, down 7.5%. NDQ, the Nasdaq, down almost 10%. And so, you know, you just wonder what's really happening, what's driving it. And you see down here, it's energy. So number one, energy prices dropping, energy stocks dropping. But that's not actually the story today. The real story today, if we go to FinViz and we go to the chart, and better yet, we look at a bubble chart and we take a look at what's down. So we take it down to 0. And you see that Apple is down almost 4%. Tesla is down almost 12%. Etsy, small retailer, I mean, that was down earlier anyway, down almost 6%. This is crazy. It's crazy when large stocks like this, Nvidia, down almost 3%. This is a $360 billion market cap. This is a $2.1 trillion market cap. This is a roughly $400 billion market cap. And these things are falling like they're penny stocks. And so, not helpful, not a good day in the markets, something to look out for. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Well, on Twitter, what's interesting about Twitter is I'm not seeing a lot of very interesting news on Twitter. Not really at all. I see people posting charts and trying to talk about it. But in general, just nothing on Twitter that's worth talking about. I did find a new stock today, which I may talk to you about. Let's see how this conversation goes. You know, one of our long-term holdings, Corbis, tough stock for us. We've been holding it for a very long time. It's down to 11 cents. You know, we bought it, we started buying it at around $1.25, so that's tricky. You can see SMLP down to 1661. You see the energy provider, Apache, APA down almost 5%. Just such an interesting day today. Let's take a look at any other stocks that we might want to follow. I guess Tesla's interesting just because it's down so much. No idea what's going on there. We look at the volume. It's a pretty good volume day. You're trading about a day's average, you know, and it's only been 2 hours. I guess that's good. Not much there. Let's go back to home. Let's go back to advancers, decliners, roughly 1-to-1, maybe 1.2 advancing for every 1 declining. Kind of a fun day today in the market. Energy way down. Energy consistently lower. Tesla down, Apple down, Nvidia down. We talked about that. And then the healthcare plans are down. Humana, Cigna, Elevance, CVS, United Healthcare, United Health Group. And some of the specialty chemicals, agriculture, Pacific Gas and Electric. Hopefully they don't go bankrupt for a second time. So interesting in the market. So the question then is it interest rates? And my guess is it is interest rates today, that this is an interest rate story. So we're going to go to markets. We're going to go to Treasury bond rates, and we're going to see the 10-year is down 10 basis points, 30-year down 9 basis points, the 5-year down 7 basis points. These are unbelievable moves. This is not normal. When yields drop, bond prices rise. means almost think of it like a flight to quality to U.S. Treasuries. So stocks down, bonds up. It's interesting. That's typical, traditional. So number 2, stocks down, bonds up. Number 1, certain large cap stocks are just crashing, and big bets. Third thing we're going to look at is related to mortgage-backed securities. So mortgage-backed securities and treasury prices, you can see that mortgage-backed securities are up slightly across the board, whether it's Ginnie Mae's or the uniform mortgage-backed securities, all residential. And you can see the rates are actually up today. If you want a 30-year fixed, it's a 6.54. So that rate is up a little, 6.5% to buy a home. What else do we want to look at? We had a whole bunch of other pages open. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that we have new volatility data to end the year. We have new stock picks. Not really going to cover those today, much more about kind of general market. So let's see what I focused on here. You see the 2-year Treasury note futures. We're at 102.55. You're still at 102.55 as a market open. The 5-year are up as well. The 10-year are up significantly, half a point, half a dollar. The U.S. Treasury bond futures are up over $1, 0.8%. That's a pretty big rise today. Corbis is treading water in a pretty small range. And when you look at the stock, let's say over 5 days, you see it bottomed right around the 28th. Looks like some good sales there. And it looks like it's trying to work its way back up. Maybe it's a floor, who knows. Could just be another leg lower. But Corbis looks like it's got a little strength to it. Verizon. Interestingly enough, Verizon looks like it's making a little bit of a recovery. Not a very good stock in terms of when interest rates are rising, but when interest rates are falling, you can see that stock is up there 10%. Black Sky Technology. You can see a lot of movement in the 1 year. Down, up, down. It looks like it's just working through its trading range there. Tupperware was as high as $20, dropped to 6, is down to 4. So Tupperware, that must just have must be an earnings issue, because Tupperware is down dramatically. Desktop Metal, this is one of the ones that was in our short list for a while. $3-4 stock down to $1.35. Bed Bath & Beyond definitely has come down. We take a look at AMC, down to $4. Always interesting. Party City down to 36 cents. That's probably one to watch. Party City, always an interesting stock. Cano Health, just down 12%. Not sure why that's interesting. Let's go to the watch list. Let's see. Screeners, saved. Let's take a look at stocks that are up 8%, stocks that are down 8%. There aren't that many. They're both fewer than 50. So stocks above 8% or up more than 8%. Of course, you got your therapeutics. Always therapeutics companies there. I don't know who Billy is. I probably should. Looks like some Chinese companies. No one I wrote. Tala Education Group is a Chinese education company. Just education companies. Let's take a look at the downers. What's down? Mammoth Energy. I think they do drilling. Arcit Quantum. They're in our quantum proprietary little portfolio. You see Tesla. Not helpful. What's interesting is Petrobras is down almost 11%. So that tells me that the Real is probably down as well. I think that's Cosan, I think is steel. Steel is down. So interesting, right? When you see Petrobras down. Tidewater, I used to know what they do. I don't know anymore. I'm going to look it up. Permian Resources has been dropping. It's interesting. Hallador Energy down 81 cents. Now that's a stock that we shorted earlier. Came back up. Who knows what's going on with that stock? It's hard to know. So, what else we got? Telos. That's one of our shortlist stocks. F45 Training Holdings. This is also part of our shortlist. This is it's a pretty tough stock here. It's been trading at 15, down to 4, down to 3. Looks like it's below 3 now. Gato Silver is interesting because the price of silver is up from like 19-20 cents to 24. So this should do well if they actually make silver. The question is, do they make silver? I don't know what Gato makes. So Advent Tech Holdings is another one in our short list. Interestingly enough, it just keeps popping and dropping, popping and dropping. D-Wave Quantum. Now we hold a little bit of D-Wave in the warrants, and the stock is down to $1.37. Interesting. That's another one in our quantum list. I like D-Wave, so I don't know what to do about that. Black Sky Technology. There's a stock that's not been doing great over the year, but pretty flat. Borr Drilling is another one of those. So energy's down, but yet the stock's been recovering. D-Wave we talked about. Had it up twice. Summit Midstream. Interestingly enough, very few shares are trading today. Only 5,000 shares. Let's refresh. That doesn't sound like even a reasonable trading day for SMLP. At 1641. How are we doing on this stock? The stock dropped to 14. I almost bought a bunch more. Then it dropped to 12, and I was kind of glad I didn't. Then it's 1360. Rose to 20, and now it's back down to 16. They did some spin-offs and acquisitions, and hopefully it's working better for them, but not sure. Grow Generation at $4. It really rose there to 8 and then came back down to 4. Hydrofarm is like a sister company to them. What I've heard from the industry people that I talk to in cannabis is that Hydrofarm is known for selling maybe higher-end products than Grow Generation, but does not make a profit, and so that's a problem. Whereas Grow Generation makes a profit, albeit pretty small. These guys all struggle with the lack of passage of the SAFE Act, right? Too much cash. Now, Credit Suisse keeps popping up and down, but really that's a $3 stock right now. Credit Suisse is so interesting. This stock should be dramatically higher. Look at the market cap of $12 billion for a major investment bank, global investment bank, but we just don't see it. Bank of Hawaii, not really trading much there, down a half a point. We like Bank of Hawaii's valuation. We think it's a high valuation. We think it's a rather high valuation. Lakeland Financial. So obviously Bank of Hawaii is in Hawaii. Lakeland Financial is in Indianapolis. It's an Indiana bank. Focus on Indiana. That stock is trading very, very lightly. Cullen/Frost. Actually, it looks like it had a good morning, and now it's down. Also, not so many shares trading, so it's just interesting to watch, right? It's thinly traded. We look at up and down stocks. You see lots of negative, a little bit of positive there. What's interesting is the stocks that we suggest avoiding or shorting, some of them are actually up quite a bit, and that's because those stocks are highly volatile, highly risky, and in a market like today, it doesn't take much of a movement to to possibly drive those stocks, to a different price point. And so they move. They're crazy. That's the point. And so you don't want them in your portfolio, but if you're looking to make changes, this is these are our positions. We have a little bit of D-Wave, we have a little bit of Corbis, and we have a little bit of Verizon, and really, really struggling with the Verizon there. We've lost so much money on those options. It's a bit painful, but we're holding on to the bitter end there. Why not, right? At this point, kind of wrote it out. It's just interesting. We look at these are stocks that have high valuations, bank stocks. And you can see with bonds actually starting to give back their gains. Just so interesting to watch. And tiny, tiny volumes across the banks. They're just not really trading. It's a low liquidity day. Maybe that's the whole point of this day. Low liquidity, not much action. And, all right. So I'm going to leave you with a thought, right? So you're in a market with low liquidity. You're in a market without a lot of trading volume. You're in a market that has high volatility. You're in a market that's been down, right? If we take a look at the S&P 500, you're right around 3,800. You look at it over the year, and it started dropping before then, and you can see it's not quite a straight line lower, but it's a case of declines and lower highs. I'm not going to say we have higher interest rates because that's actually not true. Interest rates as represented by, let's say, the 10-year, which is a very fair way to look at longer-term interest rates. We look at it over the year, and you see interest rates are up. They're up from under 2% this year to 3 to 4. But who knows? Are they going to 5 or 6%? We don't know. We don't know. We don't have a sense of it. And so, but if you look at the S&P 500, you can see we're at a period where it's been rising for many, many years, and you see it rose, and now it's in a state of decline. And so, again, it's really hard to know where this thing's going to go. If you look at it over 6 months, you see it's pretty flat, right? We've had a couple of drops. You look at it over 3 months, you see it's actually looking up in 3 months. 1 month, it's been pretty much flat since December 16. And so that just tells us, not sure where the market's headed. I don't even know that you have to know. What you need to know for the S&P 500, we'll do the one-day trading range, 5 minutes. And you can see the market opened higher. It really expected to see a strong push today, maybe to 3,900, but in fact, it's down to 3,803, and with some negative momentum. I don't know. So hard to know. Economically sensitive and politically sensitive names are down. This is not a great day if you're looking for, let's say, I'll give you an example. If you're looking for a stock like this one. If you're looking for a stock like a 3 times leveraged bull small cap, right? And you can see it's down 2.65%, whereas the S&P 500 is down 0.94. So that is right about 3 times, which makes sense. Leveraged fund. Look at it over 5 days. You've really seen some ups and downs. You could have been playing this stock for daily gains. We don't invest that way, so it's just interesting to watch. Yeah, who knows? Who knows where we're going to go? This is so I find this very fascinating, by the way. And so, we do have an offering where we will manage money. We have offerings where we will provide our analytic services and runs to clients. And We also, for free, just make YouTubes like we're making right now, and we talk to you. And so I'm going to say, if you're out there, go ahead, ask me anything. I want to hear it. I want to hear you talk to me. Go ahead and ask questions. I think it's great. And I guess that's it. We could look very quickly at news. But, one of the big pieces of news is that McCarthy may not win the GOP speaker position, Speaker of the House. And truthfully, I'm not impressed by McCarthy. He just looks like a piece of wood. I don't see him having really any personality or beliefs or anything. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. And so, who knows? I just don't know what's going on, right? I mean, you could be looking at a recession. You might not be looking at a recession. I was looking at Chinese COVID numbers, and the truth is, if you do a search on China COVID case count, it shows 0, which is stupid. We all know it's not stupid. It's not 0, but that's the numbers being reported by the government. China stops counting cases. We know that. China stopped counting cases, but there's no data. There's no data. There's no data. And so you can't do anything about it, right? You can't trade on it. You can't figure it out. What are you going to do with it? You just kind of watch and think you're in trouble. Now, there's anecdotal data that says that China's COVID cases are high, but I'm not on WeChat anymore. I don't have a business reason to have it, and so I don't really have connection to anyone. I am interested, by the way, in SMLP, so that's going to be one where I will do a little extra searching, just so you guys know. And there's others. There's Credit Suisse, which is always going to be an interesting stock until they decide whether they're going to 0 or going back to 20. Don't know. I've got, again, old shares of Corbis. Not going to buy anymore. It's just, it's probably a waste right now. Probably a wasted stock. You see, while we're talking, the market's down to 38.05. Again, energy's lower, Tesla's lower, consumer defensive's lower, tech is lower. But interestingly enough, interest rates are lower. See those bond yields? Bond prices are higher, bond yields are lower. You look at the dollar. Dollar's much stronger. Much stronger. 1.2% stronger. Dollar is strong, maybe because McCarthy isn't going to be Speaker of the House. Maybe because the Republicans might have someone with a backbone in there that they can put in. Bring back Newt Gingrich, right? Bring back somebody with some thoughts on how we're going to move America forward. I don't see it. I see gas lower, gas and energy lower. I see food lower. I see metals higher. I see the dollar higher, and I see stocks down. So there's nothing to cheer about here. This is a tough market. And if you want any more proof, take a look here at the sectors. You see energy's down 2.7. What's interesting is, right, much, much better from last year. It really did rise, drop, rise, drop, rise. And so it almost looks like a head and shoulders forming. Maybe this is the peak. And maybe after that, we'll see the downfall. It's hard to know, right? Hard to know. Sure looks like a nice head and shoulders is forming. Up, left shoulder, up, head. It's really got to come lower. It's not really testing anything right now. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. It's a good day. I tried not to focus on any individual stocks. I'm not pumping any stocks right now. We haven't made a trade other than getting out of a short in a while. We're not making trades right now. We are We're just riding out, trying to figure out how much money we made and lost last year, get ready for tax time, get ready for financial statements. And in fact, once we end this video, I'm going to do a little bit of research on a couple of new tickers that I like, and then call it and focus on accounting for the rest of the day. You guys take care now. Bye-bye.